Here we are again with a piece of paper, compass, protractor, and actually I will be using a piece of tracing paper this time as well. You can sketch this out without the tracing paper if you don't have it, but I think it will help you to see a little bit better if you struggle with that. Normally on example 4, we would go a little bit deeper than we're going to go today. We're going to just look at this really briefly. They want us to figure out if there is a sequence of reflections that could result in the same image as a rotation. So I went ahead and I put point T on here, and I traced out JKLM. And we're wanting to know if we can go from one to the other. So let's rotate clockwise here, and we could go to here. There would also, and we could figure out how many degrees that is, but we could also go from here and rotate this direction, right? We could swing it around this direction until it lands on there. So we do see that there is a rotation that changes one shape to the other, maps them onto each other. The question is there a series of reflections? And there is. There exists this line right here. We're going to have line T, and we're just going to draw this right here, and we won't go too in depth here to where this line came from, but we will see that the first thing we could do is to reflect it over this line. So in order to reflect it over this line, I'm going to mark that that line is there, and then I can flip it over and line up where T was, and I can line up that line, and I can see where this new shape should be. Now, because I wrote in pencil on the other side of this, I'm going to use this little trick where if I draw now on this side of it, it will kind of push the pencil from the other side onto the paper, and I have transferred my drawing. So another way to look at this, make sure I have K, L, M, and J. So this is K, L, M, J prime. Okay. And then if you remember on example 1, there's actually a line that we could draw between these two. And actually what we would find is that there is this line that goes through the midpoints of all of these. And we're not going to actually construct those. We're going to imagine that those are all midpoints, and there's this other line that comes through here. And if we had this line coming through and that line, then there is now, so we started here, we reflected across this line, we ended up here, and now we can actually reflect across this line and land over here. So we can see that there is a composition of reflections, and it would work the same way if we started with this as our original shape and then reflected here and then reflected here. So there are these diagonal lines that we can reflect across. Just to keep things light and simple, we are going to actually skip the try it unless you choose to do this on your own, which you could certainly do.